and a very good evening to all my dear members of ISTD Kota chapter, Pan India, all the chapters, and my amazing friends who are joining us today from Malaysia and United States. I'm your host, Anita Chauhan, welcoming you for this. So I welcome you all to this very first international webinar being introduced by Kota chapter in association with ISTD headquarters during this COVID-19 crisis on a very apt theme, that is tips for managing your mental strength. With our eminent expert from Malaysia, Dr. Sangeeta Kaur, who is a lovely and wonderful friend of mine, and the founder of Emerging Journey Asia, and she's the CEO of Emergenetics Malaysia, a dedicated mental health advocate. Sangeeta, she has over 20 years of experience in a field of human capital, and she uses different creative approaches in her interactions. And I'm sure, Sangeeta, we are going to enjoy all this today.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So today's webinar is starting a new journey for ISTD in terms of going international with full technical support from our head office. Thank to the entire team led by our director, Dr. Avinash Chandra Joshi, and of course our loving national president, Dr. Natraj Ray. So mental strength is an important part of our plastic personality, and today this theme is a very apt theme. We are going to talk about this. I'm just a layman mentioning about this, but I'm definitely going to take much time, not much time of yours, but I'm going to tell you about this also. Mental strength determines our performance. Okay, when two people, similar situations are from the same background, they experience different outcomes because of the difference of their mental toughness, right? So before we go, move forward, I request Dr. Joshi to please guide us, to say a few words on this webinar today. Dr. Joshi.
Thank you, Anita. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this webinar. In fact, international webinar, the first of its kind in ISTD. So I congratulate you for this initiative. In fact, I am very happy that this international webinar is also starting in ISTD. In fact, the national office has to take a cue from you and start doing international webinar. Let me tell you that for ISTD, in this month itself, we will be holding an international webinar in which participants from very many countries, Dubai, Bahrain and all will be participating. So we are really building our repertoire of all these kind of sessions, the panel discussions, the webinars and all that. This is just a series and you continue our good effort. So thank you, Anita, for doing that.
Thank you so much.
And the topic which you have chosen today is very, very relevant, especially during the COVID-19. So when we talk about health, we talk about only physical health. When we go to the doctor, we most of the time go for our elements. Ki yahan dard ho gaya, wahan ye ho gaya, wahan ho gaya. We are generally talking about the body elements. But equally relevant and important is the mental health, which very often is ignored. In fact, people do not like to talk about mental health because it is not considered good in the society. Still, we feel that those who talk about mental health, they are suffering from something mental. So that kind of a stigma is there so far as mental health is concerned. And I am very sure that today's webinar will bring in lot of new light about the awareness about mental health, and especially your lecture will be empowering us, will be empowering the people to discuss freely about their mental elements, whatever causes them, because we are afraid to go to a psychiatrist. We are afraid to go to a psychologist because sometimes there are problems, there are nagging problems in our personality, but we are afraid. Koi bolta hai ki jao, go and visit a psyche. So we are afraid. So why? Why? It is because of the societal, the structure of the society, that we afraid to go to those who are treating the mental illness. Even the diagnosis is not there. Very often we are not able to get the diagnosis done for the mental illness or mental health issues. So I'm very sure that this session will be highly interactive. And those of us who have their questions, I'll request you to please do ask, do it very, very interactive, so that at the end of the day, we take home a lot of good memories and lot of takeaways are there. I told Anita that I will not be joining this session because it is your program, and national office is in the backdrop. We are in the backdrop supporting you all the time. So I will just call it, and thank you so much, and all the very best to you, Anita, in your endeavor. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so much. But all the efforts, the technical support given by your
Sure,
national office,
sure.
that is really awesome. So now I will invite our National President, Dr. Nataraj Ray, to give away a welcome note. Then I'll be sharing all the rules and regulations in next few seconds, and then we'll go. Yes, Dr. Ray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and also my dear ISTD friends. I also welcome our very esteemed guest and who is the speaker of today, from abroad. Thank you, madam, and thank you.
Yes.
Welcome on behalf of ISTD. ISTD Kota.
Dr. Ray, एक बार. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you need to welcome our guests, our members, those who are not even ISTD members, but they are attending our webinar from United States and Malaysia also.
Okay. So I welcome also abroad who are joining and Malaysia and other countries. So welcome also. Welcome also all of them for the ISTD call. So ISTD Kota chapter established in 6 January 2007-8, and the chapter is a continuously work for the cause of ISTD, led by chapter chairmen and others. And it is a very small chapter, and the activity wise, it is a very big chapter, Onitaji, because every month, every week, there are a lot of activities you have. So the chapter wise, it is a very activity chapter, organize many session, many activities, and the first time organize the international webinar also. International webinar we are doing for the Kota chapter. Chapter has got many awards, best awards for 2 times. A small chapter, best 2 times they have got the awards of the chapter. This is a very remarkable, very short span. There is a 10 years almost. They have got a two types of awards. That is a best chapter awards. Many activities. There are in reach of the e-journal. Chapter has a quarterly e-journal or e-newsletter, the Recondly. These are very active activities of the chapter that quarterly they have published a e-journal, which is a very resourceful for the HR and others. They have done also, ISTD Kota chapter done also a NetCon, 2 times NetCon, and also the regional conference 2 times. And I have attended one NetCon, and the 41 NetCon. This is a very prestigious NetCon, I can tell you. Till today, I remember that all the participants and all the speakers was many speakers are very distinguished speakers in the country and abroad also there. 2 regional conference. I have attended one conference also. Members are there. There are 2 NCC members, and also best member awards also got the chapter. So as a nutshell, I can tell you Kota chapter is a chapter, small chapter, but activity wise it is a larger chapter. What they are doing, the most largest chapter they know do Kota chapter is doing for their chapter chairman Onita Chauhan and his team. Thank you, Onita Di, for arranging this session today. And all the members who have participated, whether Indian or abroad, will be taking the good learning session. And madam, the Shungita madam, welcome. I'll see that your more activities in future also ISTD. So we are welcome you to ISTD France, not only IFTIDO, and every month, every year you will be involved in the ISTD in abroad. That is the things we welcome all of them. And thank you very much for this wonderful session and learning session. Onita ji, thank you very much for doing that thing. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your kind words. And we are really feeling excited and motivated with your kind words. Kota chapter will definitely keep on doing wonderful things under your able guidance. Thank you so very much, sir. So we have good number of participants along with us. So let me introduce. I'm not going to take much time, but Sagita, now I'm not going to talk about theme. Basically, let people know you first, right?
Okay.
Because what I'm going to mention is going to be the layman's word, but you are
Yes.
going to be the expert. So that is fine. So, as I mentioned, she is already a founder of Imagenetics Malaysia. She's a CEO of Imagenetics Malaysia. And this I already mentioned. So, Sangeeta, she has organized Malaysia's first this is Malaysia's first mental health experiential conference in 2019 in collaboration with the Ministry of Health topic on the topic mental health, mental hazard at work. Are you at risk? To create awareness, educate employers and employees that mental health is an important for productivity sustainability. All right. Her course of study of human psychology, behavior, and responses to rooted in her strong passion to help humanity discover their true potential through the understanding of their individual uniqueness and untapped potentials. Her spare time is spent engaging in community service projects. She served as an interpreter for YMCA International Deaf Day through EGA. She conducts regular workshops for the deaf with the Deaf Mola organization and YMCA Deaf Club. She is also a volunteer counselor for MH370 and MH17 and, under the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development at Malaysia. Sangeeta's pleasant, energetic, friendly and caring personality is a natural asset. She instantly makes people feel comfortable and welcomed around with her non-judgmental and non-stereotype outlook. That is what I really like about you. So she continues to research, study, and expose herself to new frontiers each day to better equip herself to help others. She is humbled to find herself being a student of life. So she is learning every day. She's a member of Tulips Movement. She is a vice president of University of Hikers, the Association of Psychological Education Counselors of Asia Pacific, the American Psychological Association, Psychological First Aid, John Hopkins University of USA. So it's
So
going to
many.
be
Yeah,
a
it will be a
long
long
list.
list. So it's okay. We're gonna like cut short.
So we are not going to, we are going to cut short this and let us come to the wonderful seminar. And I assure all the participants are going to take a very good takeaway. Let me mention, we are going to generate e-certificates for all the participants who are going to successfully complete this webinar today. We are going to have, let me tell you the format. Sangeeta is going to take another 15-20 minutes for her session. Then we'll make it open for everyone. It is going to be an interactive session. You can always put up your questions in the chat box. We would love to see your faces also. So we would love if anyone who is asking question, let Sangeeta interact with her because as she's already an expertise into her interaction approaches and all. So e-certificates are going to be the credit of the participants who are going to complete this session, right? And we are going to share a link after the session. We are going to share a link. You need to fulfill that. You need to answer those questions in that link. Then your certificate will be generated and you will find the same certificate in your email inbox in next 4-5 days. Right, Sangeeta?
Yes.
So over to you, and I thank my technical expert Gurvinder Singh ji. आपका नाम लिए बिना we cannot start this session. So thank you so much, Gurvinder, for giving us all the good support. Dr. Ray and Dr. Joshi, with your permission, I'm going to start this. Over to you, Sangeeta.
All right. Hello and good evening to all of you. Okay, in Malaysia, it's already 7:50 p.m. Okay, and thank you, Anita, for this opportunity. Namaste to all. Okay, So thank you for the opportunity for me to be on this platform to share about mental strength, mental health. And also I would like to thank Dr. A.C. Joshi, Dr. Nataraj for this opportunity, to be on board, and also to our Gurinder with all the technical stuff. So if you can't hear well, your video not appearing, you just type on the text box and he's the guy who's gonna, look at the technical stuff. All right. So again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. So what I'm going to share is welcome to all of you who are here. I know there are some of you from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Brunei. So thank you so much for attending and log in, and also our friends in India. Welcome on board. So I think I don't need to explain a lot about myself. Anita already gave you that whole list, right? So let me share about, okay. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes.
All right, you can see my slide, yeah? All right. Is it the full screen, Gurinder?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is.
So again, I'm a mental health ambassador. I do a lot of talks regarding mental health, advocating people and creating awareness. But today's session will be slightly different. All right. I'm not going to directly focus on mental health, but I'm going to share with you some statistics. I'm going to share with you the difference between different mental health practitioners. But then I'm going to go into 7 effective tips, okay, on managing your mental strength. Okay, so when we talk about managing mental strength, it can be a broad area, but I'm just going to touch 7. All right. And throughout this session, when anything that I share or I explain might trigger your emotion, might give you an unpleasant thought, unpleasant emotion where you might be sweaty, or you might feel very cold, or you be fidgeting, you can't sit quietly, you start moving, or you have heavy breathing. Please take time to just calm yourself with a couple of deep breaths. And if you need to text me, because I'm a licensed counselor, so if you need to text me personally or with Anita, to Anita, feel free to do that. All right. So this platform, we are all equal. You can just address me as Sangeeta, and let's start. So mental strength is important because it's in your mind. Okay, everything is in your mind. No matter how good you are at a certain skill, no matter how good you are, or you have all the competency or the expert, right? But if your mind is not strong enough, and if in your mind there's a lot of negative thoughts, negative belief that is running in your mind, no matter how good you are, all right, it will affect your performance. That is why when we say about mental health, and just now Dr. Joshi was mentioning, no one addresses mental health. Okay, when you don't address mental health, after some time, you will be impacted heavily. So when you're being impacted heavily, by then it's too late. Okay, so that is why mental strength is important for you to do your daily stuff, just like mental health, which you need to address that. All right. So just to share this, the comparison between the 3 area of mental health professional. Okay, we have so many. We talk about school counselors, we have public health, we have social worker. These are all helpers. But when you look at the 3 dimension, there will be a counselor, there will be a psychologist, and a psychiatrist. So most of the time when people ask, it's good to see a psychiatrist, they think that you're going to go crazy, you already have all this perception about you being crazy, get angry, you wallop people, you hit people, and you run around. So just to show you the 3 things is, A counselor is someone who you can talk to, all right? And they are an individual, a helper where they don't see disturbed clients. Okay, for example, if someone have bipolar or hallucination, when they come to us, we will refer them to psychologists, clinical psychologists, or psychiatrists for further treatment. All right. Psychologist is where similar to counselor, but they need to get degree in psychology. All right. And when we talk about psychiatrists, this is where they need to be a medical doctor. So most of the time, you know, people think that go and see a psychiatrist, you already crazy. Actually, it's not. You have the option to meet other experts like the counselor or the psychologist to assist you in going through the recovery journey before you need medication. So I just want to set this clear because most of the time people get the wrong impression. That is where the stereotype and stigma will arise. Yeah. And a little bit of Malaysian statistics. Okay, in Malaysia, 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 will have mental health problems. Okay, and in Malaysia also 1 in 5 will be suffering from depression, 2 in 5 will be suffering from anxiety, 1 in 10 stress, and there are more than 4.2 million people suffering from mental health issues. This is with the 32 million population in Malaysia. All right, we have more than 7,000 counselors. We have few hundreds of psychologists and psychiatrists. But right now, I'm going to give you another statistics where this is in India. India with 1.34 billion population, okay, mental disorder is at 1 in 7 people, okay. Depression is at 33.8%. So imagine the number is very huge, yeah. You compare 1.34 billion and you take 33.8, it's very huge. And anxiety is at 19%. Schizophrenia is at 9.8%, bipolar 6.9%, and in India there's only 9,000 psychiatrists. Okay, it's just over 9,000 psychiatrists, and if I'm not mistaken, every year India is producing 760 or 780 psychiatrists every year. So it's a very good effort, okay, from India to have all these experts out there to talk about mental health, to assist individuals with mental health. So that is why all of us need to play a role in addressing mental health. So that is the basic understanding of mental health. Okay, we're not going to go dive into deeper because then it'll take a longer time. So the topic that I'm sharing today is about mental strength, right? So what is mental strength? Again, it's a measure of individual resilience that may predict their success in sports, education, or workplace. You need to look at this that everyone is different. When we say everyone is different, I'm different, Anita is different, Govinda is different, all of you here are different. Even though we come from the same family background, same family dynamic and setting, but because of our engagement with others, we tend to be different a little bit based on our experience, our social engagement. So when we talk about mental resilience, it's how long can you maintain in a position that you are uncomfortable. All right. For example, let us all do this. Gurida, can I see the rest of them?
No, I can allow one at a time to speak to
Oh,
you.
you only can have one. Okay. So what I can do is I want all of you, if you need to do this, yeah. I want you to fold your hand. Okay. Some of you might find it comfortable folding your hand like this. Okay. Some of you might not. But generally, people feel comfortable just folding their hand. It can be in the sense of, when you feel cold, you want to warm yourself, or in the sense of defense, or you feel comfortable. So all of you folding your hands, right? Okay. Now, you feel comfortable, you feel good in this position. Now, I want you to do the other way around. I want you to fold your hand the other way around. Okay. Do you feel comfortable? Or you confused already? Which one am I supposed to do? The first one or the second one? All right. So again, the first one where it's your automatic response. Okay. The first one will be your automatic response. That is, you feel comfortable, you feel nice, and you know you can do this easily. Okay. Now, when you do the other one, do you feel comfortable? You don't feel comfortable, right? But are you able to do that? Yes,
Yes.
correct. Okay. So how long can you stay in this position? How long can you stay in this second position? Some of you will go back to your original position, the first one. Okay.
Right.
So this is what we say about mental strength or mental resilience, because when you are doing something that you are not comfortable, when you are doing something new that is, you feel that, you know, I can't do it, this is too hard, I'm going to get cramped, I'm going to get tired, you know, so many negative thoughts will run in your mind. Okay, so what will happen is that you will stop doing it. So when you stop doing it, your mental resilience are actually lower. But those who are able to do the second one over and over again, duration of time, you will get it right. And when I ask you fold your hand the first time, you feel comfortable. Do it the other way around, you will also feel comfortable. Okay? So you need to understand this. So how much of us really, how many of us really look at our mental resilience? So there are few ways that you can look at it. Okay. The first one, okay, so I'm going to talk about the 7 effective ways. The first one is emotion control, which I'm going to share shortly. The second one is cognitive reframing. The third, practice perseverance. Set goals and be focused. Your mindset. Is it a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? All right. Delay gratification. This is one of the important ways, because most of the time, whenever we receive a message, whenever we receive a call, we need to answer it immediately. You know, especially in social media, you post something and someone replied. The first thing you'll do is notification, I will reply immediately, right? So delayed gratification is one of the methods. And lastly, mental health is where you should be able to reach out. Okay? Any questions so far? Is there anyone who wants to ask questions? So far, so good? Okay? All right. So when we talk about emotion control, most of the time, there's a fine line between emotion and thoughts. Okay? For example, if you are going through a meeting, right? Right now, me, Gurvinder, and Anita in a meeting. Okay? So what will happen is, Anita and myself, we are friends. Okay? But in the meeting, we might have some miscommunication because of certain task needs to be done. All right?
True.
But because, and when we have that miscommunication, we might bring up our emotion. Any decision that you use or you make based on emotion, most and high possibility it might not be as what you want it to be. So right now, after my discussion with Anita, you know, she talked to me, I talked to her, and then we have this kind of exchange. After that meeting, I might, okay, if I'm still using my emotions, yeah, I might not address Anita as my friend. I will tell her, if you are my friend, why didn't you back me up in the meeting? You know, why do you want to argue with me? You got what I mean now? So I put in my relationship with Anita and the task that I'm supposed to do together. So that is why when you do certain things, you must understand your emotion. It needs to be break from what are your tasks and your role during that time. All right. So another way that you can do is always stay calm. How do you stay calm? How do I stay calm? Is just be quiet and just breathe. Okay? There's a reason why, okay, we have our eyes, we have our ears, our mouth, our nose. Eyes is to see, ears is to listen, nose is to smell, mouth is to chew, to taste, and all that. So everything has only one function, correct? But why breathing? There's two ways you can use. You can use your nose and you can use your mouth. Because it's a critical skill people need to do. Deep breathing. If you close your nose and your mouth, you are unable to breathe. So if you injured your nose or you go for a sinus operation where you cannot use your nose, you use your mouth to breathe, right? So only breathing, you have two important organs that assist you. Your nose can't see unless someone who is blind, then other senses will be highlighted. But for someone who able to use everything, they are all different functions, okay? Again, journal your emotion. What are you feeling right now? You need to journal it down, because whatever that you go through, different scenario, different occasion, your emotion might be the same, your emotion might be different. So journal it down so that you can revisit and understand why is this happening. Okay? And always remain positive. Why? The moment we start one negative self-talk, automatically so many negative will come. There's a research, okay? This you better take note. This might be come out in the quiz later on. All right. The research in Cleveland Clinic mentioned that average person will have 60,000 thoughts per day. Okay. From that 60,000 thoughts, 95% are repeated thoughts. That means whatever that you do from that 60,000, 95% will be repeating by itself. Okay. From that 95%, 80% will be negative thoughts. Okay. So if you look overall, 80% of that 95, okay, meaning each of us, okay, generally will have 45,000 plus negative thought a day. That is why it will keep on repeating by itself, and it will link to all other negative, and it will associate it. So remain positive is important, yeah? Okay, the next one that you can look is cognitive reframing. This is an example that you can use, yeah? Okay, for example, you have a situation right now. The situation say everyone's busy, so I'm spending an evening alone with no plans. So your thought, automatic self-thought will be, no one wants to hang out with me. What emotion derived from that? Feeling depressed, right? Because no one talks to you, you're just sitting down there, you are alone. What behavior you will display? The behavior that you will display is sit around and have more bad thoughts. Remember, we have 45,000 plus negative thoughts that will be repeating in our brain, right? So this behavior will arise, that you just sit, you don't want to talk to people, you just be by yourself. So with that, what other things you can do? So by reframing your thoughts, you can say, I'm alone tonight, but everyone is alone from time to time. So during this moment, I can do whatever I want. You see how you shift from the thoughts, the negative thought, you reframe it to a positive thought. All right. Another example I can give is, you have a difficult assignment in school or at work. Okay. So the thought automatically will come out as, I am horrible at this stuff. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. It's impossible to do it. See, all these are your own negative thought, yeah? The emotion that you're going to display as being anxious. Okay? What behavior you're going to display? since you don't like to do it because you think you can't do it, so you will delay your assignment or your task. So how do you reframe your thought is, this assignment is difficult, I will take time to do it, but I will break it into smaller pieces. So by reframing, you remain focused to the task that you need to do. All right? Okay. Next, perseverance. A lot of people, again, when just now I mentioned about the folding hands, right? The other way around. So this can be one of your perseverance. How long can you maintain? If you are not good at it, do you practice it? Because one way for perseverance is you need to practice the difficult task all the time. Only when you practice, it becomes easier. All right. So again, how do I get it done? It's how effective your relationship. For example, if I can do this easily and Anita feels like, you know, Sangeeta, I can't do it easily. Can you show me how? So because of our relationship, I'm able to demonstrate how to do it. And I say, Anita, if you want it, we can do it together. Okay. And then move. This is also a way for you to look for opportunity and self-discovery. Okay. You might not do it. You don't know how to do it, but by learning, you should be able to get it done. Okay. I'm going to do this activity with all of you. So can I have all of you to, I'm going to have a background music, yeah? So this is a brain gym activity that we're going to do, okay? So, okay. Can you listen to my music?
Yes.
Okay. So I want all of you to do this. This is easy. Easy, right? Gurvinder, you can do that too instead of just being the IT guy. Okay. Okay, all of you here, we have 90 over participants. Please do this. So the next task is this one. Remember, we do slow. Okay, beginning we do slow. Slow, yeah? Okay. Okay. The next one. Gun and rabbit. I want you to swap. Slow. Slow, yeah? Okay. Now go fast. Okay, now fast. Okay. All right. Okay. So how many of you persevere until the end? Or do you stop the moment you can't do it? You know, especially this one, you stop immediately. Or this one, and then you stop. This is what I say perseverance, yeah? The more you practice, the better you become. It's not that I do it, I can't follow Sangeeta, therefore I'm going to stop. I do this all the time. I do this to my participant. I practice this every time. So that is why I can do it easily. Okay? So I hope you're getting from where I'm coming, because perseverance is very important. Okay. Next, you need to set goals. Okay. Set your goal and be focused. Most of the time, we will set many goals, but then we are easily distracted. Okay, so if you look at this picture, it's like, you know how you have a goal, but you close your eyes and you are just throwing the dart to get to your goal. So if you are not focused, you can't see. That is why all the darts are around. Okay, but if you are focused, you are, you know, you hit the bull's eyes. So all the other that is out from the red, from the bull's eye, okay, are all your distractions. Are all your distractions. You know, you might have the motivation to exercise. Suddenly you feel that, no, today is holiday, so I'm not going to exercise. Okay? Or you are motivated to learn something new, and then suddenly your friend invite you, come, let's go out. You know, let's go out and have a drink or go and visit somebody. So what will happen? You will shift your focus because that is more entertaining than sitting down to reach your task. So set your goals and be focused. All of us have different goals. All of us achieve our goals differently. But some of us take a longer time, some of us take a shorter time. So you decide how you want to reach your goal. Okay? All right. Next, we have mindset. Are we in a fixed mindset or are we in the growth mindset? Okay? So you need to understand this because generally, most of the people will have fixed mindset. Why? They do something, they can't do it, and then they blame it on other people. They do something and then they say, I can't do it. Okay, without even trying different ways and different approach. But if you look at the growth mindset, whenever there's a failure, it's an opportunity for them to learn better, to do different approach, to get things done. And they are open to criticism, they are open to feedback. The moment you are open to criticism and the moment you are open to feedback, that's where you grow. All right. So how do you know that your body language shows that am I open or am I closed? Always observe your shoulder. Our shoulder will always be up. Automatically, it will be up. When your shoulder is up, the message that you give, the signal that you give to your brain is, I'm in the defense mode. So when I'm in the defense mode, whenever someone telling me something, automatically I will react. Okay, I will defend myself or I will make it into a denial stage. So I will just attack back. I will just fight back. So that is why your shoulder should always go down, but do not hunch. Okay, just relax your shoulder because the moment you relax, you feel there's no attack to you. All right. And the moment you relax, the part of your brain called amygdala that generates, okay, the feel-good hormone, okay, the oxytocin will be released and you feel good. So when people tell you something, you will not feel that has a direct attack. All right. So these are the skills that we need to learn because we are not brought up to understand all these skills. We have been brought up to see how many A's you can get. You know, will you be in the top university? Will you go to a top company? So these skills you need to learn and you need to develop. All right. So the next one is delayed gratification. How you need to do this? First, you need to have good self-discipline. For example, if you post something in your social media, then just switch off the notification. You don't need to reply immediately. Okay? Or someone texts you something. You don't need to reply immediately if it's not urgent. Or now with this COVID crisis, every single news you want to see, you know, which is bad for yourself because the more you see, you create more fear. When you create more fear, when you go out, you will display that fear. Okay, because your brain will not tell you, hello, you are going through fear right now. It will not knock and tell you you are going through fear. It will not stop you and telling you you are having anxiety or you're going to have panic. It will not. It will just happen that way. All right. Some of us able to capture this earlier so they can remain calm, but most of us will just display this emotion. So that is why delayed gratification is very important. For those of you who have kids, okay, try to limit their gadget. Okay, limit their gadget, because kids, it's like feeding them. You know, they get addicted to it. So when they get addicted to it, every single thing they will just text, they will just reply, and they just post. All right, delayed gratification by self-discipline. Remove the temptation. Okay, remove the temptation. And right now, a lot of people during this semi-lockdown, they want to go on diet. But in social media, you can see a lot of them posting what to cook, baking, all this recipe. So what you will do, instead of dieting or maintain a healthy lifestyle, your eating lifestyle, you tend to indulge into this kind of thing. So remove the temptation. Another thing is there's no shortcuts. Whenever you take shortcut, that means you want things now. When you learn the hard way, you will understand things better, and then you are able to have that mental strength. Okay? And also, when you improve your self-control of replying things now, okay, you will achieve your long-term goal even faster. As I mentioned earlier, when you want to do certain tasks, your friend invite you to go and visit another friend, or your friend invite you to go and eat. So you stop this and you go, right? But you need to have the self-control. Lastly, mental health. Okay, why again mental health is important? Because mental health don't see your color, don't see from where you are, don't see whether you are rich, you are poor, you're old, you're young, nothing. It affects everybody. Okay, and every stage of our life, you might have it now, you might not have it later, or vice versa. So that is why reaching out is important. Reaching out and extend, you know, it might not be mental health professional, but it can be someone of your mentor or your coach or some of your friends that you can trust, that you feel comfortable. So you need to reach out. Yeah. All right. Any question, Anita? Any questions that we have right now?
No, like we can ask people to raise their hands, but do we have to do now or in the end?
I've gone through that 7 tips. So if people want to ask questions, they can just
Sure.
ask. Yeah.
So if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand so they can ask directly.
Yes. Okay. Do we have anyone?
Yeah, I have Mr. Satish. Please unmute and you can ask.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Satish.
Hi, Sangeeta. It was a very good session indeed.
Thank you.
I just want to ask one question. When it comes practically to make ourselves aligned from the very deep emotions of anger, anxiety. I mean, it is very easier done than said.
Yes.
I mean, why is it so? I mean, what should we do at that particular moment when we were not able to do so?
Okay. So I just rephrase your question. Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. All right. So what you're asking is, you know, when you have this emotion, correct?
Right.
What can you do to reduce it? Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So there's many ways that you can do. All right. And again, what works for me might not work for you. So you need to understand that,
Right.
yeah? What works for me might not
Correct.
work for you. So you need to test few approach. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is practice breathing. Not really practice breathing. You actually do deep breathing. Deep breathing is where when you breathe, your tummy will go out like a balloon, and then when you exhale, it will really go in. Because the moment you do deep breathing, you are bringing in more oxygen and your body is at rest. You can do deep breathing, right? And when someone has that thought immediately, sometimes it's difficult to control themselves, right? So when you have difficulty in control yourself, what can you do is immediately go to a space that you feel safe and comfortable. Okay, how?
Right.
Because
Right.
sometimes you might have a communication with someone, and this person might trigger your emotion. Okay, so
Right.
rather than you react, you move back. Go to a place first. Maybe you just turn your body to the side, or maybe walk until you are calmer. Then you address it to that person.
Dr. Benwet is here. Dr. Benwet is here. I would like to invite him.
Okay, does I answer your question just now? There's many ways
Yes,
to
Sangeeta.
that, yeah? Yeah, there's many ways to
Correct.
that. Another thing that you can do is, hold your hand. Hold your hand so that you don't react. If your hands are loose, for you to react is very easily because it's open. But if you hold your hand, whether do this or hold your hands or sit on your hands, it will help you to calm down a little bit. Okay?
That way would we not be suppressing our emotions?
Not during that moment, because in that moment you don't want to react immediately. Okay, so what you do when you start holding and when you calm down, and then you revisit those emotions, that is where I say journaling your emotions. Okay,
Right.
Okay,
so when you
now we have,
revisit, you journal it, then you address it. All right.
Sure,
Yes,
ma'am. Sure.
Anita, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you,
now
ma'am.
we have, yeah, good. Now we have Mr. Kent and then Achanay, Dr. Benwet. Dr.
Yes.
Benwet first. He
Dr.
raised his
Benwet.
question first. Dr.
Yeah,
Benwet.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome,
Yeah.
sir. He's a past
So,
past national president of ISTD.
so
Welcome you, sir.
congratulations, Anita, for presenting Sangeeta, who has made
Thank
a
you.
lovely presentation. Well, I
Thank you
had
so much, sir.
one or two comments. In one of the slides, you have talked about the psychiatrist and the psychologist. What about the counselor or coach? I didn't see that. That is one comment. The other one is regarding this talking about negativity and positivity. I think being more realistic may be more important rather than only thinking positive or negative. It seems that positivity is being touted much more. I feel being more realistic should be a better proposition.
Yes.
Your comments.
Yeah, okay. So I do have the counselor part in the slide. So we have the counselor, the psychologist, and the psychiatrist. Okay, so these are more into the individual to understand. So when the second question that you say
So I
about
think
being
the coach.
realistic, the realistic, yes, but most of us, when we go into that mode of negative self-talk, as I mentioned earlier, through the research, we have 60,000 thoughts, but then from that 60,000, 95 are repeated, 95% are repeated, and 80% from that 95 are negative. So sometimes people don't understand that they need to live in here and now. So when they don't look at it as I'm here and now, that is where the thoughts will be running. And sometimes something that is realistic for them is not realistic because they have been, they grew up in that environment that even though it's realistic, it's not, it's bad. Okay. For example,
Okay.
I address that, yeah, because we need to understand that people fail to see that I am in here and now. This is real, this is not. So when you have that automatic negative thought, you need to break it down into two. One is facts. Is this negative thought or is this worry, problems that I am going through right now, it's a fact or is just my mind playing tricks on me? All right? Because most of the time, people don't look at the fact. They will look at this negative. That is why you have that 80% of repeated negative thoughts. Yeah.
Now, for this here and now, for here and now, it's a very good concept. But I think learning from the past, the mistakes that were there, and implementing it here and now, that is also more important.
Yes.
Like from the pandemic, lots that we could have learned earlier, and it seems we either forget it or wake up too late. So I think learnings of the past to be incorporated here. Comments, please.
Yes. So that is why the perseverance is there. That means you learn from your past, you learn from your mistake, and every time through that learning, you improve yourself. Unless you learn, you've gone through your mistakes and you go through mistake without improving yourself, then you are not living in the here and now and you're not developing. So you are going back to your mindset. That means it's a fixed mindset. But the more you persevere and you have the growth mindset, then you'll be able to see things differently. And all this, I can tell to you easily right now because I'm practicing it. Okay? But a lot of people might not have the skill, might not have the resources to practice this. No one able to show them or tell them, okay? Or create the awareness. So there will be a group of individuals who are able to do this because they have gone through that growth mindset, they learn the skills, they know what is going on, and there will be a bigger group of individuals who doesn't know how to reach out, doesn't know the skill, because for them, daily work is important. These are not important. And if you look at it, all this while, people don't really put emphasis on mental health. People only put emphasis on physical health.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
lovely presentation. I hope we could become communicators as interesting like you and make it a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Fair. Thank you, Dr. Banit. Now we have Mr.
Mr.
K.M.
Tandon,
Tandon.
yes.
Mr. Tandon.
Hello, thank
Over
you
to
very
you,
much,
Tandon sir.
Hi.
Mrs. Sangeeta. This has been an extremely good presentation, and I hope I'm audible.
You are
Yes,
audible, but you are not visible.
But he won't
Okay, it doesn't matter. What I want to communicate is going through, that is okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Right, sir.
Yeah. So it was a really very good presentation. Only one observation I wanted to make was, I wanted to ask you that at the time when you are emotionally charged, how should you remain rational? It is extremely difficult to be rational at the time when you are totally emotionally charged. All this knowledge, it evaporates like anything. Like Arjuna's condition, at the time of the war, he forgot everything else. And then the Lord had to give a whole 18 chapter treatise to him for that. So I want to know some tips so that at the time when you are emotionally charged, at that time, how to remain rational and take all the nice decisions which are supposed to be taken.
Okay. So what you need to do is to be mindful. Okay. So when you are, even if you have the highest level of energy, you are charged, or even when you feel that you feel that you're at very low, because our emotion, our thoughts are like roller coaster. Someday you can be at your peak, someday you can be at the very bottom. Yeah. So being mindful of the things around you, being mindful of what you can commit and what you can't commit, it will assist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. But this mindfulness actually has to be somehow inculcated in the person's personality. You have to be mindful all the time, so that at the time of the emotional assault, you are you remain mindful.
Yes.
So it is
yes.
not a just a 5 minute or 10 minute thing. It
No.
is a whole lifestyle thing. You have to be mindful all the time.
Yes, you need to be mindful on a critical decision on the things that you do and your action. But it can be sometimes, you know, when you are too happy, you just have a burst of energy, right? But that burst of energy will be during a specific time. So it will be good if you are mindful. You think if you are too mindful about things, okay, when you are too alert about things, you will lose the here and now. Okay, so we don't want you to lose that here and now. When I say about mindfulness, that means you are aware of what you need to do. You are aware of your emotions. You are aware. So when you are aware, you are in the context of here and now. It's not just being alert, being mindful, you know, and that's it.
No, actually,
Fine.
I would just add one more
Yes.
observation on this.
Uh-huh.
See, when you say that when you are mindful, you lose the here and now, I don't think I could agree with that, because if you are here and now, that exactly means that you are mindful, and if you are mindful, you'll never go wrong.
Yes,
So,
but again, there are a group of people who knows how to demonstrate mindfulness effectively. But there will be a group of people who are not, you know, they take the word mindfulness literally and say that I am mindful, but what are they mindful of? They don't know. They just know that I'm mindful, yeah, I know Anita is here, I know Gurvinda is here, I'm mindful that they are here, you know, but to what extent are you being mindful? So again, you know, when we talk about mental health, when we talk about mental strength, there are diversity of people view it differently. As for me, when I talk about mental health, I believe in mental health. I approach mental health. I advocate mental health. But there are people who say, Sangeeta, I want to do mental health. But can you don't use the word mental because it's negative? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think thank you very much. One has to
Thank
be
you.
mindful, but not stressful because of being
Yes.
mindful.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Tandon. Thank you. Now, next we have few
Miss
questions in
Rashmi
our
Bhargav.
yeah. So we'll take questions in the question box later. Let's welcome Rashmi Bhargav ma'am. She's from Bhopal.
Hi,
Hello.
Sangeeta.
Hello, Rashmi.
I think it's a brilliant presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just, out of curiosity, I just wanted to check what is the difference between emotional detachment and emotional control?
Okay. All right. So based on my observation with people that I do counseling and the engagement with people, so when you talk about emotional detachment, that means you letting go any emotion, okay, with that individual. That means you don't want to have anything to do with this person, you don't want to get linked to this individual. So it's like, it looks like more cold. All right. That means you have no emotion at all. Okay, when I say at all, it's not like 100% eliminate, but you don't feel you are connected to that individual. Okay, when we talk about emotion control, meaning you still have some sort of emotion, but you are able to control that emotion. Okay, for example, yeah, there will be some scenarios when people say I'll get angry. So it's either I react to that anger, okay, to that emotion, or I control the emotion and say, okay, I'm listening this, and then I take action. Whether I want to evaluate that emotion or I want to just let it go. You got what I mean? So when it comes to emotion control, you have this certain emotion, you are controlling it rather than you attack the person. Okay? When we talk about emotional detachment, meaning right now, I have nothing with you, I'm not connected with you, we are no more in relationship, so you just brush it away.
All you need to do is control.
Yes, it will be good if you are able to control those emotions, because You see, when certain things come to you, okay, I'm just going to give another scenario, right? Okay, now Rashmi, both of us are having conversation, and you say something that might trigger my emotion. So I'm feeling unpleasant, right? So rather than me reacting to Rashmi, reacting to you and say that you have created this emotion to me, you have done it to me, you know, I don't want to know you anymore. You hurt me, all right? But actually, I already have this wound long time ago. It's not because of you created that wound. It's because of I've gone through this before, okay? But because you are the source right now for me to feel unpleasant, I attack you. You got me? So it's good when it something triggers you, you try to control that emotion if you can, and it's advisable to do that, and revisit that emotion. Why are you feeling that way? Because most of the time, whatever that we go through is not to the person that we are communicating right now or the scenario, but to past experience that we have gone through. It can be something that you experience when you are 5 years old, or something that you are experienced when you are 12, which you can't recall, but it's deep down inside. So when you control, you journal it down, you go deep, you will understand from where the source coming from. Okay?
Thanks for your insight.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Reshma ma'am. Now we have Dr. Archana Srivastava. Dr. Archana Srivastava, you have a question. Dr. Archana.
Yeah, I am not. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. It's a nice session. Thanks. I haven't any question.
So we have Shipra Srivastav. She doesn't have any question. Like.
Okay.
Archana, you are not audible, Archana ma'am. Anyway, now we have Shipra Srivastava.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Shipra.
Yeah. Sangeeta, indeed, it is a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, or rather you clarify me on that. As you mentioned that 90% thoughts are negative, that repeated, and 90% out of that 80% thoughts are negative. So can be a solution that when these negative thoughts are coming, we can think of the good thing that God has given to us as a blessing,
yeah,
and come out of it, think those things that are the blessings from God. It will help me to come out of that emotion.
Okay. If you are a spiritual person or a religious person who looks into that aspect, and you feel that this will assist me in coming out, by all means, please do it. Because we are all different and we use different approach. All right? And
Okay.
some of us, they are more scientific. They need facts. They need to rephrase. So they do it differently. But if you think by being grateful, which is a wonderful way, being grateful for the things that you have, being grateful for, for these blessings that you have, it works. Please go ahead.
I just want to say the contentment in life should be important. That I am contented. That the way I console myself, that yes, I'm contented, I'm better than a lot of people around me.
Yeah. If you rephrase it that way, remember when I mentioned earlier cognitive reframing. So if you rephrase it that way and it makes you better, it makes you feel good, okay, and reduce the unpleasant emotion and feeling, please go ahead. Because it works for you. So when it works for you, you know that it will help you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fine. Thank you, Shipra. So, Archana Srivastava, are you there? Archana Srivastava? No, she's not there. Fair. So we have a question, Sangeeta, from Preeti. So I'm going to read the question now. You're going to answer her live. A friend of mine is going through a lot of stress because of many reasons behind it, like health and career issues. I tried my best, but he is still depressed. He feels disconnected from his family and feels he cannot reach out to them as
Okay.
they do not understand him, sometimes he gets suicidal thoughts also. He wants to reach out to a psychiatrist, but he is afraid to do it because of his family. What
Okay.
can I do to help him, or what can I suggest him to do?
Okay.
So Preeti, there's an answer for you from Sangeeta.
Okay. So there's a few ways you can look at it, right? So what I'm hearing is one of it is, okay, coming from the professional way of looking at, I'm observing it. This person have suicidal ideation, did not have family support, going through crisis in terms of career and financial. Is that correct, Anika?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So there's a lot of issue that is running in this person's mind. Okay. How
Right.
can I address? How do I reach out? Okay. So
Right.
there's a few ways. There's no first thing, second thing. There's a few ways that you can look. First, when someone reach out to you and talk to you, that means you are a person that this person trusts. Okay, so your friend trusts you pretty and feel comfortable for him to share this emotion. Okay, another thing that you need or you can do, you can do is when this person pouring out the emotion, we need to have attentive listening and empathetic. Meaning, when this person is sharing, don't give solution. Okay, don't give solution, don't give things that might aggravate more, because sometimes they need to vent out to understand where are this coming from. Okay, so listen to what this person is saying, be present, have that eye contact, but not the eye contact where you do this, yes, anything more, anything you want to share, you don't do that eye contact. Okay, have that calm eye contact where you can communicate with them. And then there is another way, another approach you can do. And if this person wants to see a psychiatrist but unable to because of the family members, right? So you can find, you can find the channel where, beside of going to see psychiatric first, it can be because of stigma, because of taboo, because of social, when they know they are one of the family members going and see a psychiatric, everyone going to put a shame on them. So reach out to counselors, so they are not psychiatric, they are not doctors who give you medicine. All right, and there are calls that you can call to do that tele counseling, to have that engagement. And I'm sure there's NGO, mental health NGO in India who can assist. So rather than straight away go into and put yourself into more burden by seeing a psychiatrist, where it might bring more damage for you because of that society, okay, be it in the family or outside, go to a more subtle approach. Okay, you can call in to NGOs, mental health NGOs, and rest assured, when you meet these professionals, a counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, they will not reveal your information. Okay, they will not tell to people what you have gone through, your story, what you want to do. They will not reveal, because we have been trained to address all these conditions. All right, so your story will not go to anyone unless you go and tell to this individual, oh, I'm going to see a psychiatrist. Then you go and tell to another individual, I'm going to see a psychiatrist. That individual might spread the news, but not a professional mental health practitioner. They will not share your information because it's strictly private and confidential. So you can share this session to your friend, and ways that he can reach out, because it's important to reach out. The moment you have these thoughts, right, about that is running in your mind, when you reach out, don't ever think that you are a lesser person. You are not a lesser person if you reach out. Okay, your value is still there, your identity is still there, your confidence there. Okay, you need to reach out, because when you reach out, you see the journey to recovery is so much better. We don't want to wait till the last, where it takes it takes more damage and longer time for recovery. We want to tackle this issue at the very beginning. Like if you have a fever, you have a flu, you go and take medicine, you go and see doctor, right? It's the same thing. Address it at the beginning. Don't wait till the end. Okay. And
Right.
I just want to share this. Yeah, I want to share COVID-19 and mental health. Okay. Can you see COVID-19 virus? Unless it's under microscope lah, okay? But now, layman, can you see COVID-19 virus? You can't see it. Can you see your mental problem? You cannot see it because it's not something that you can see. But do COVID-19 have symptoms? Yes. Fever, cough, right? Do mental health have symptoms? Yes. What is the symptom? Feeling isolation, feeling useless, feeling lonely. Now, we go down to another level. If you go and seek medical assistance for COVID-19, can you recover? Yes. If you have the immune, you take the medication, you self-care, you recover. The same thing. If you go and see a professional, can you recover? Yes. You still can recover. Now, do patients with severe COVID die? Yes. Do people with severe mental health illness die? Yes. Because they might kill themselves or they kill others. Okay? So you see, you can't see it, but it's the same. You need to reach out. That is why we say everybody focus on physical health. They forget to look after their mental health. And these both are balanced. You need to have these two. You need to take care of your mental. You need to take care of your physical. Only then you are healthy. Provided you get good nutrition, you eat, you know, all that external factor. But physical and mental, it needs to be together. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So
Right. Thank you.
Preeti.
So Preeti, I think you have got your answer now. So if you are in Kota, we have Sangeeta, we have a society out here in Kota, Hope Society. We are working specifically for this only.
Lovely. So reach out.
For this all societal prevention.
That's very good.
This is how we are getting good calls over there. We have our vice chair, Dr. M.L. Agarwal. He's the founder of that. Fair enough. We have another question from Mr. Som Shankar Mitra. He is asking, what are the exercises do you suggest for increase of mental health? We have so many questions, so quickly you need to answer.
Okay, I need to answer quickly. Okay, I'll try to go as fast as I can. Okay.
Right. One thing. Let me repeat. So all the participants, we are going to share a link with you all. At the end of the session, you are going to click on that, answer our questions. Then your certificate of participation will be generated after that only, and will be there in your inbox, email inbox within 2, 4, 5 days. Right. Over to Sangeeta.
Okay, that's very fast. I think I'm going to go very fast. All right. So exercise to increase your mental health. Remember earlier I talked about brain gym activity where you do this and you do this.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Right. This is one that can improve your mental health. Okay. Try to take a lot of vitamin B. Okay. From vegetable, from fruits, from seeds. So this will be good, but always check with your medical doctor first, yeah? Don't say that, oh, Sangeeta say I need to increase, then you just overdose on vitamin B. Don't do that. Go and check a doctor, okay? Get sufficient, all right? Another thing that you can do is one exercise that, another thing that for you to lift your mood or emotion, if you have a pencil, bite on your pencil or pen, like that. Okay, this will help you to ground yourself a little bit. Okay, so you can bite your pencil. All right. Okay. Another thing that you can do is to increase your mental health is pinch at the tip of your ear. Okay, when you pinch the tip of your ear, okay, it's the nearer to your eye, nearer to the top part of your head. When you pinch, you are at here and now. Okay, bring yourself into the conscious level, because most of the time whatever that we do is unconscious. Okay, all right, so these are a few tips. You can Google it. You can see there's a lot of ways that you can increase your brain power, your mental health. Yeah. Okay, next question, Anita. I'm going as fast as I can. I can't hear you, Anita.
There's a question from Dr. Mehul Thakkar. I think we have already answered. Is IQ the same as emotional detachment, or a high IQ helps one to practice have emotional detachment?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The question is IQ the same as emotional detachment, or a high IQ helps one to practice or have emotional detachment?
Okay, so in this area, I need to do more reading. Okay, but what I know, people who have a lot of IQ, their EQ is lesser. Okay, so individuals who have a lot of IQ, their EQ will be lesser. So you need to address, it's not that they are totally detached, but they feel that this is not relevant. Okay, because they're thinking, yeah, they use a lot of their thinking instead of their intuition and instead of their emotion. So it's not detached, but it's just that when they have too much of IQ, without them realizing their EQ is actually lesser. So we need to balance this out. Yeah. Okay. Next,
Right.
Anita.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is how to overcome the fear of failure. This is from Rotarian Mukesh Jain. How to overcome the fear of failure.
Okay. So if you look at failure, there's so many. And you need to look at where are you coming from. It can be failure in your job. It can be failure in your relationship. It can be failure in whatever that you do with your family and all that. So you need to address from where this failure comes from. So when you list down, again, journaling is very important, yeah? Because when you list it down, you put there fear of failure. You list down what is it. Okay. Today you list down one. Tomorrow you list down another one. The next day you list down. You see the consistency of your answer, and it's okay if you change. Okay, it's okay today you feel like I feel like a failure in this area. You know, then tomorrow you feel a failure in another area. It's okay. Every day, if possible, write down what is the failure that you are fearing, and then see the consistency and work on it. If you can't work on it by yourself, alone, always reach out. Reach out to someone, okay? Because sometimes by talking to individual, you will have the answer. All of us will have the answer. Sometimes we are not confident of our answer. We are not confident about the capability that we can do. So we need to get acceptance. We need to get confirmation from others. All right? But the answers are all within you. Okay? All right, next.
Next, so we have a question from Dr. Nija Srivastav. Practically, it is very difficult to overcome negative thoughts. Then what we do?
Okay. Okay. It's a practice. It's always a practice. Okay. When you always have these thoughts inside of you, that means it's a norm. It's a norm that, oh, I'm alive because I can have these thoughts. I'm alive because, you know, I am thinking about this. Right? So by practicing, that means you are shifting yourself. During that shift, you will go through a lot of emotions. So you need to normalize those emotions. Okay? The moment you normalize the emotion, it becomes easier. Then another step, you normalize again the emotion. imagine, okay, I'm going to use the metaphor of a baby, right? For a baby to walk confidently, or for a toddler to walk confidently, it need to fall a few times, right? First, you need to stand up, and then you need to hold, and then hold and walk. So the baby will fall, and then will go up again. And then, the toddler will fall and rise and fall and rise. So you see the perseverance of the toddler to achieve the goal of walking and then running, and which you can't catch after that, right? So start one thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many things. Like, oh, I want to work on this emotion. I want to work on my anger. I want to work on my loneliness. I want to work on my sadness. When you have everything, there's a lot of loophole. Okay? And your energy will drain. Your motivation will drain. So what best is work one at a time. When you're confident enough, work another one. And sometimes you can see two separate presenting problems are actually coming from one root cause. Okay? So when you look at it, then you will see it better. And don't always do it mentally. You need to write it down. Okay? When you write it down, when you go back, you revisit, you can see the difference. All right?
Right. Dr. Nija is adding, if the person is introvert, then how can we help?
Okay. So introvert also need to socialize. It's just that their group is lesser. The amount that they spend with people is lesser, right? So if it's the group of people that they spend with is smaller and they like to be alone, again, if you are with them during that moment, get connected to them. Because an introvert person don't really like to share their emotion, don't really like to share their concern. You need to build relationship with them. You need to engage with them. And it needs to be genuine. You can't say, hey, I think you have problem. Can you tell me why? Immediately the person will shut down. But if you address them like, build rapport, share some of your things, test the water, see what's the reaction. And when that person is open enough, they will share. Okay? Don't for introvert, you just don't go and approach them.
Right.
They will get offended and they will just retract. Okay?
We have a question from Dr. Sorry?
Even I have a question.
Yes.
Fair, right, sir? Over to Dr. Joshi, right?
Thanks, Angita, for a wonderful presentation. And I'm very sure that a lot of us who are intently watching your presentation have been benefited by it. I have one question. In fact, people often take advantage of people who are emotionally weak. And they do a lot of emotional bullying. And they find psychologically this person can be harassed or can torture and tormented. So very often we find that those who are psychologically weak get attacked very often. And as you said that 90% are the negative thoughts. So they are really not able to overcome this very the source of negative emotions. So what is your advice to how to counter this emotional bullying and come out strong? So how do you motivate people to fight it out and become stronger and deal with the emotional bullying?
Okay. So I'm going to rephrase that. So the question is, how do we assist people to come out from emotional bullying, correct?
Yeah, very
okay.
right.
All right. Okay. So again, there's various ways. Okay. So when we talk about emotional bullying, if you are a victim, there's few ways why you are a victim. One, maybe you have low self-confidence, or maybe one, during your upbringing, your culture makes you, you should not voice it out. You should just keep it to yourself. So there's many ways why you are a victim of a bullying. Okay?
Maybe sometimes introvert, extrovert. If you are introvert, then very often you do not raise your voice. And that becomes your weak point.
Yes. Because people view you as you don't have opinion. People view you as, you don't have good ideas and not to voice it out. So always, if you feel that you are a victim, I want you to go deep down and ask yourself, who are you? Okay. So the question that you need to do is, when you go back, not only to all victims, to all of us here, ask this question: who am I? Most of the time, people cannot answer that. They will only answer, oh, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. They position who am I has roles that can be gone or taken away at any time. But the moment you answer deeply, you answer inside, and you answer the question, who am I? Then you understand yourself better. And again, it's not easy. Some of us don't really want to talk about who am I. Okay, they want to run away from a problem. Okay, so when you are truthful to yourself, when you are really go deeper to understand who are you, you will understand why you allow people to bully you. Then you will understand and you will come up from it.
It becomes a tendency, gradually.
Yes. When you through practice, you will become better. So the power, you see, sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, people give their power away.
Yes,
okay? Right. When you give your power away, you will lose. When you lose, that's where you can go down, really down, if you allow your emotion to go really down, And when you give your power away, there's so many reasons why you're giving power to another individual. So only you can answer that. Because I can
My question is how to overcome this.
That's right.
I know that people are bullying me very often. I am very weak, not able to withstand or stand and answer and reply. Now, suppose I know who I am.
Yes.
And I find out myself, I introspect myself. I know now what the purpose of my being in this universe.
Okay.
So even after that self-introspection, what is it that I need to do to stand up?
There's a few ways. One, you can, protect yourself. Okay. But make sure you are always safe. Meaning, for example, if you are being attacked verbally and you need to stand up for yourself, you need to stand up for yourself, but in a manner that is not provocating, in a manner that you don't feel it some more. Okay? So don't use words that is creating more from the other side. Okay, that is one. Secondly, if you think that you need more assistance on how to tackle, because bully can be from school, bully can be from spouse, can be office, it can be so many ways. It can be even from family members. Yeah. So you need to address. If I need to counter, if I need a third party intervention to help me to address this, then you need to address. But if the bullying becomes aggressive, that's where you need to report. But are you brave enough to go and report? Even after you look at yourself, I know I am a brave person, I'm independent, I'm strong. But most of them, people who are independent and strong, they are being bullied. So will you take that risk? And will you go out there to report a case? Because again, when they report, back to emotion. What will the society say? What will happen after this gone? People will look at me. Can you face that? If you are able to face that, do it. Okay? If you need to come out and show, you need to do it. But always look at your safety. Are you safe first? Your safety is very important. Yes. Your safety is important, yeah? Okay. Next. I hope I answer your...
Can we take a very quick...
very nice answer. Very nice. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good, Sangeeta. Thanks. Now we are quickly answering.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Richa, but Richa, just wait. We have questions There is a person, Mishu, she is asking, in the current situation of COVID-19 and otherwise also, when teaching, reading and everything being online, I as a mother, how can I reduce the screen time for my kids? You said to be away from gadgets and other things.
Okay. So I need to understand, are you a working mother? That means you work in the organization, or are you at home? Okay. Why I need to do that? Because I really salute mothers who stay at home and do everything without any leave, without anything. Yeah, they are doing everything. I really salute mothers who stay at home. So I need to know this too. Okay, one, if you are someone who is at home managing the family, managing everything, right? So you can have you can monitor your kids easily. You can monitor your kids easily. That means during the study, the online study, these are your time. And then if your kids need to socially, virtually engage with their friends, allow them, but in the limited number of hours, maybe half an hour or 45 minutes. Okay? Other than that, they can do other activity. But what about the mother who have to work at home? What about the mother who is working at home at the same time they have to address office work? Sometimes they are unable to monitor the kids' activity. Yeah. So again, have a schedule for the children and have a schedule for you. Meaning, you need to have a strict scheduling. And then where is the computer? Is the computer in the child's room, or is the computer in the common area where you can monitor? All right. And then look at the what you call this? The sites that your kids are going. Are they watching all these fearful messages? Are they communicating in a way? So you need to put that restriction there. And most importantly, communicate with your child why you are doing this. Because parents, right, sometimes we abuse our parents and say, if I say, you do it. But by you communicating like this, it will be easier for them to understand. But again, I need to understand how old is your kid. If they are, a teenager, it will be a different approach. If they are still in primary, that means, they go to, how do you call primary school in India? Where they are like 7 years old, 8 years old, 10. So it's a different approach. Okay? So you need to test what approach works best for you. Okay? Next.
Right. Thank you. So the next question is, from Mr. Dushyant Joshi, what are the major warning signs of mental illness that you have got addressed?
Okay. So,
quickly.
Yeah. So every mental illness, they will have some symptoms that is similar. Okay. For example, if you see at severe anxiety, or if you look at severe panic attack or OCD, what are the symptoms? Is that they are anxious most of the time. Okay. They want to make sure that everything is in order. So those are similar symptoms. But another way that you can look or to catch certain way is, if you see this person is always mixing around, talking to people, suddenly you see this person isolate themselves. That can be one of the symptoms. Okay? Or an individual who constantly say, I don't see why I'm needed. I feel hopeless. I feel helpless. I can't do anything. That is a sign. But it need to be consistent. It need to be, this person need to tell that statement all the time. Yeah, it's not like one time, two time, and then you already categorize them as mental illness or mental health challenges. Yeah, there are people who suddenly they don't want to eat. Okay, there are people who just want to sleep. They don't want to wake up. There are individuals who cannot sleep. They need to take sleeping pills. So these are the signs. It's not that they are going through mental illness. You need to understand these two terms. Mental illness is where they need to take medication. It's already illness where it's diagnostic. Okay. Mental health challenges is where we are managing our daily life. Sometimes we can cope, sometimes we cannot cope. So I'm addressing the mental health challenges, which if you don't address this, it will prolong to mental illness. Okay? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Dikshant. So now I'll take another question. It is from Tejas Goyal. In present scenario, in ancient system of in present scenario, is ancient system of treatment is acceptable?
Sorry, is Asian?
Ancient system of treatment is acceptable.
Ancient system of prevention.
Of treatment.
Treatment. That means ancient treatment in this current scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not familiar with ancient treatment, but what I can see is in terms of maintaining your mental health well-being, and right now everyone talks about yoga, right?
Right.
So yoga is one of the ways that you can manage your mental well-being. Okay. There's also about the deep breathing, where you inhale through your nose, you exhale through your mouth. That is something that we've been using for longest time, right? About breathing. So you need to look at that. But when it comes to herbs and all that, I'm not really sure because I'm not an expert in those fields. Okay, so I cannot address that. But if you look at it, when you talk about yoga, when you talk about breathing, it does work in your mental well-being. Yeah. Next question.
So now we have Diana from Malaysia. So she's asking a question while listening attentively. Hi, Dr. Sangeeta. While listening attentively, do we make comments about the situation faced by our friend who confined us? If we have to, how do we avoid reinforcing the pre-existing negative thoughts in our friend's mind?
Okay. So what I'm hearing is if someone share their experience with you, right? How do you manage that scenario? Okay, first thing, you should not put yourself into that person, because the moment you put yourself into that person scenario, okay, you will impose your own belief, you will impose your own values to that individual. So what you need to do is, when you listen attentively, you need to make sure that there's no judgment, there's no stereotype. You are just there to listen. Okay? Because unless you are a counselor and you ask your friend, do you want to go into therapy session, or do you just want to went out and for me to listen? So you give that option to your friend. Do you need my advice, or, because by you asking, you are actually giving the power to your friend to think, do I really need advice, or do I need someone to just listen to me? Okay? Because most of the time when you are close to me, I'm going to take Anita again as my example, yeah? So imagine me and Anita is having conversation, and Anita tell me a piece of her concerns. So the first thing a friend will do is, Anita, I know how you are feeling, yeah, let's do this. I will be with you, I will assist you, because of your helping, I will assist you, I'll do this, got that. But actually, you don't have time to assist. I don't have time to assist Anita, but I give those promise, right? So it would be good if I can ask Anita is, Anita, so I'm going to listen to what you are saying. Okay, feel free to stay or feel free to filter. And if you want my feedback or my advice, please do so. Other than that, I will not give any suggestion. I'm just going to listen to you. Just do that. Because it will help a lot. Because the moment someone tell their scenario, and their scenario similar to your experience, you tend to rescue the individual. The moment you feel that you need to rescue the individual, the agenda is your agenda. It's not your friend's agenda anymore. Okay? All right.
Right.
Yes.
So now, Ayan Banerjee, over to you. Ayan, you need to ask a question. Or shall I read? His question is relation between emotion and logic. Yes, Ayan.
Hello, Dr. Sangeeta.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Sangeeta. This is Ayan Banerjee from Kolkata. We are a set of trainers, corporate trainers. We train across countries. First of all, thank you very much for a wonderful session.
Thank
My
you.
question is, what I could gather on the discussion on introversion and extroversion is that introverts are people who are slightly of a lower capability, whatever, and they need to improve by becoming extroverts. That is my understanding from the discussion. If you could please validate, I mean, is this a correct understanding of reality? Or
No.
is it a fact that introverts have a very different life, career, calling, etc., compared to extroverts?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So when we talk about introvert and extrovert, okay, you need to understand their personality. Yeah. There are people, okay, where they don't really like to express their emotion to others. Okay. When they don't express their emotion to others, they prefer to keep it to themselves. People term them as introvert. Okay. But during certain scenario, certain environment, they can stretch themselves to become an extrovert because they need to display those emotions that time. And someone who is extrovert, okay, extrovert, people term they are an individual who like to express themselves. Okay, they like to express, but even introvert likes to have their quiet time. Okay, and when you put an introvert and extrovert, which widely people use this term, both of them have their own strength and both of them have their own weaknesses. For example, an introvert, their strength is they will assess information that you give, they will evaluate the details before they voice it out. Okay, that is a good strength. But the areas that they need to work out is it will take some time for them to voice it out. Okay, it's not their capability is lesser, yeah. So it's not right. It's just that they need to have that courage to voice out what is running in their mind. For an extrovert, okay, whatever that they listen, they need to reply immediately. So they are like external process. That means when I talk to you, you will reply me immediately. So it's a constant conversation. Okay, the strength of this is they are visible because they express their emotion, they share what's their thoughts, what's in their mind. But the area that they need to work on it is they will overlook on details and information. Okay, so when they overlook on detail and information, then a lot of things that might not be how it's supposed to be. So when you put an introvert and an extrovert together, they can work effectively because they complement each other. But most of the time, people tend to click with their own someone who have the similar personality, right? Imagine if an extrovert start talking and sharing, and you are talking to an individual who is introvert. After some time, you feel like, oh, no point talking to this person because this person are quiet, no feedback, no nothing. That is your personal process. But that individual who is introvert, they have good ideas. It's just that they need an extra time for them to voice out and give their opinion or task. All right. So you need to be mindful because I am someone who will express myself, but at certain time I love to be alone. You know, don't disturb me. I want my time. But does that mean that I have split personality? At times I'm an extrovert and at times I'm an introvert? No. Okay. And for introvert, they like to be on their own. They like to think they have their time to process, but at certain time they like to be with the crowd. So by having this statement of introvert, extrovert, why I'm using it, because it's widely used by general population. So I'm using that term, but both have their pro and cons. So you need to address that. Okay, so I hope I answered your question, Ayan.
Very, very inspiring answer. Thank you very much. I
Thank
have
you
one
so much.
final question, if I may. See, apart from the many techniques which you have shared today, could you please help us? How does one train the brain? How does one ensure, superior mental processing capability, brain power? How to increase that? If you could please show some practical techniques. Thank you.
Okay, again, practice. Practice makes perfect, right? So when the 7 tips that I gave you, perseverance, and then reframing of your thoughts. Whenever you have certain thoughts that is running in your mind, you reframe it. Okay, and then to increase your brain power, you can do Sudoku. Okay, word search. You can do brain gym exercise. So I think another exercise that you can do is, I'm not sure what do you call this, Anita, where you hold your ears and you go up and down, you squat. When children being punished, they hold their ears and they go up and down. What do you call that?
In India, we call it Uttak Baitak.
Oh,
In Rajasthan.
okay. So you can do that because, if I'm not mistaken, it's an ancient thing where it helps you for your brain. So for
So
us adults, yeah, the
so
left
somehow
and right.
ancient ways of treatment are also can also right.
Yes, correct. So you do that because
So
when we are adult, we don't do this anymore.
Right.
So it's very good if you can do it.
Right.
All right.
True. So
Thank you.
Yeah. Great, Ayan. So now I have a question from Anonymous. He has not mentioned his name, he or she. So if the person is not ready to accept he is suffering from poor mental health, if he feels happy to torture people who care about him, how can we help him?
Okay. I need to understand what's the meaning of torture.
Let me mention what I understood is this: sometimes when you are trying to help certain people, like you are giving them some sort of treatment or some consoling him, but then he gets wild sometimes. No,
Okay.
and he or she, the patient, tortures. Sometimes they start manhandling kind of things also. So I think I don't know who is this, but otherwise I would have allowed him to talk, but I cannot unmute him also.
Okay.
So this is how I understood, because we have seen such situations in Dr. M.L. Agrawal's clinic.
Okay. Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
If the person is not ready to accept that he is suffering from poor mental health, and he feels happy to torture people who care about him, how we can help him?
How we can help him. If he's not ready, but he knows he or she have this problem, right?
Right.
So I think
people actually do not. I think Sangeeta, now which we have understood is that people who are suffering from this mental illness, you can say a bit disorder, somehow they are disturbed, but they do not accept it easily. That is a fact. That's a fact. And even society doesn't allow. That is how we have already discussed. So once we ask them, let's go to the doctor, that is that's what Dr. Joshi said in the very beginning. So that becomes a challenge, and somehow family people, they feel, they are not allowing, they feel helpless also. So he is asking how we can help such patients.
Okay, so if the soft approach didn't work, okay, that means there's a lot of effort has been given for this person well-being, and they take advantage of that and they enjoy torturing, then a hard approach needs to be done. All right, sorry to say, you need that person who giving help, they need to use a hard approach. Heart approach can be so many things. Okay, heart approach, you can call the hospital to come to address. You know, if you can't manage, if the person go aggressive, you can't manage, so you need someone to come and address this individual. Because soft
Right.
approach doesn't work, you have to use the hard approach.
Right.
Yeah, because some people, they can react in violence, some people can even harm you, so you need to use that
Yes.
approach. It's for the person's well-being. You know, we want that person to be okay, we want the person to be fine. So that's another way of doing it. Yeah.
Right. So there's
Okay.
a question. Richa, are you there? Dr. Richa Jain. Over to you. I think she's not there, but her question is, what if one fails?
He's there.
Richa, you are there. Yes, Richa.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. I'm Dr. Richa Jain from Haryana. First of all, thank you for the excellent session and a very good interactive conversation.
Thank you.
Ma'am, my question is, what if one fails and sometimes people and students, especially students, they think of committing suicide?
Mm-hmm.
It is basically one moment decision. So my question is, what you suggest him or her for that moment? Because generally it is said generally that if that moment passes, they change their decision. So what you suggest him or her for that moment?
Okay, so I'm going to just rephrase your question for me to understand better. So students, okay, so when we talk about students, can I take in what age group? 15 to 25?
Basically, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 to 25. Okay. So when a student has that moment of suicidal, what can that student do, or what can we do? Which one is that, Dr. Risha?
My question is, what is your suggestion to that particular student or that person for that one moment?
Okay. So if this particular student have that thought running in their mind, the first thing they should do is reach out to their support system. Okay, call anyone that they feel comfortable, they need the support, call that person first. Because when they call this person actually brings a meaning in their life. Okay, so when they connect to someone who bring purpose and meaning in their life, the tendency of suicidal will reduce. Okay, so always look out who is your support system, and that is the individual you can address to immediately if you have this issue. And it's okay if your support system is not your parents. It's okay if that support system is not your what you call it, friends. You know, it can be your lecturer, it can be your neighbor that you feel comfortable with, it can be anyone that you feel comfortable. Okay, and this person will this particular student can reach out. Don't just have that thought inside of you. And if you feel that you cannot reach out to anybody, you have the NGO like Anita mentioned, Hope, right? You can connect to them, you can call them and reach out. So normally, what I do is for my patients, when we have is those who have suicidal ideation, we have an agreement with them. This is when they go through session. So we have suicidal agreement. So the suicidal agreement states that you should not harm. If you have these thoughts running in your mind, the first thing you need to look at your support system. Who can you talk to? Because this person has an emotional connection to you. So when they have emotional connection, it brings meaning and purpose. Okay, it brings self-love and self-care. So you can do that first.
Thank you.
Thank you, Risha. Yes, Anita, next question. I can't hear you.
She has to unmute.
Right. So the question from Pradeep Kulshrestha ji: is there any food which effect of improve mental health? Pradeep Kulshrestha.
Any
He's
food.
asking food that can affect of your mental, that can improve your mental health. That's what you mentioned, nutritious diet and all.
Yes,
I think.
yes. Because
You already answered.
vitamin B will improve your mental brain, your brain health. Okay, that regulates your mood and all that. So you take a lot of grains, a lot of fruits, vegetables, supplements, but you need to get a better what you call it from a doctor and all this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, food, good food habits. So next question is from Mr. Pradeep. If someone is not able to sleep during short-term anxiety, is it a system of mental illness?
Short-term anxiety.
Yes.
Okay.
If one is not able to sleep during short-term anxiety, is it a symptom of mental illness?
Okay. You see, again, we don't say mental illness, because mental illness will be like something that is so severe. Okay. So we can say mental health challenges. Okay. And during that short period of time, if you cannot sleep, but then you are able to cope, you are able to come back and able to function. Okay. That means you have surpassed the anxiety, the anxious moment, and after that you can sleep, then you are fine. Okay. Because you are still able to function and do your tasks like how you're supposed to do at the optimal level. Okay. So during that moment, if you have an anxiety, a short term, and you cannot sleep, then you are doing, you can take some mental wellness, like, yoga, deep breathing and all that, to help in your sleep. Okay. Like before sleep, don't look at your phone, because it will make your brain go on active mode. Okay. So listen to soothing music. It will help you to sleep better. But once that moment, that the short-term anxiety over, and then you are able to sleep, then it's fine. You don't need to seek medication for that. All right. Okay. Next, Anita.
Right, thank you. Now we have Mr. Edmund. Now I'm allowing Doctor. Can you can ask your question, sir? This is he asked 2-3 questions. Then we have Mr. Mukul Jain next, then Dr. Yogesh Upadhyay, our past president. So I have already unmuted you, Mr. Edmund.
Let's allow Mr. Mukesh.
What is the difference between mindfulness and stressfulness? This is what is the question.
Stressfulness, I think you go through a lot of stress. Okay, another thing you need to understand, right? Stress, it's not a bad word, okay? But people overuse it and say stress is bad. In order for us to motivate us to do tasks, in order for us to get things done, we need stress. Okay, for example, if you have exam, okay, what makes you to study is the stress of facing the exam, right? So you make sure that you study every night, okay, so that you pass your exam. So that's your short-term stress. Short-term stress is good because it motivates you. Or you have a project. When you have a project with limited time and all that, with limited resources, you will have stress, right? Because you need to deliver that project. So it's a short-term stress. So stress is good to motivate you. We call it eustress, to keep you going, to give you some meaning and purpose to get things done, and also to complete a task. But if that stress is prolonged to a long period of time, that's where it becomes bad stress. So when it becomes bad stress, you need to really check out, why is it prolonged? Are you not taking care of your mental well-being? Are you not exercising? Are you not reframing your thoughts? So you need to address that. So stress generally are good until it develops for a long time and become bad stress, yeah? Okay.
Right. So now Dr. Mukul Jain.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Dr. Mukul.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Not
Yeah,
visible.
yeah. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar. Well, my question is that I'll take forward the question which Dr. A.C. Joshi had asked earlier. So he had asked, that wherein he talked about bullying by certain people, for emotionally weak people, or sometimes, then Sagita said that it could be also for emotionally strong people also. There is some emotional bullying. So my question is that, sometimes the emotional bullying is to the extent of defaming the other person or tarnishing the reputation of the other person. So in that case, do you suggest that one should, sever all the relationship with such people, so that, we go to the root cause, and if certain people are providing an emotional distress, so should we stop all the relationships, or sever all the relationship? Is it the right way to do that, so that one can live in own world and one can live in a emotionally strong situation?
Okay, so when you list down, right, and then you see like this person are giving you a lot of emotional stress. Okay, this person is giving you a lot of negative things. So it's up to you whether you want to be closely connected to this individual and going through that emotion again of being bullied, or do you want to keep a distance? So again, it's all up to you, because the power is in your court. If you feel that I cannot detach from the bullier, okay, then by all means, if you think you want to do that and you want to go through the pain and suffering, it's you, right? But if you feel that this person giving me a lot of distress, I don't want to be associated. Maybe I can just say hi, hello, but not closely associate, not to have emotional attachment. It's your choice. What we do is we cannot enforce and tell you this person is bullying you, therefore you cannot mix with this individual, you cannot do this. It's not our job to tell you that. You need to understand what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because if you still want to go through the pain, you still cannot detach, and you feel alive to go through the pain, then we cannot do anything much. You see, there's a lot of people, they know they need help. They know the people that they are close with is actually hurting them, but they don't want to do anything. We cannot force them.
Correct.
We cannot force them. It's their choice. They have to decide. You want to be better? You take the step. Rest assured, there will be people to support you. But if you don't want to take, you want to be in that scenario, then nothing much we can do.
Absolutely. It depends on the circumstances of a person. So different people will have different circumstances. So according to the circumstance, you are saying that this could be one of the way, and it depends on your circumstances.
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Anita, you're mute. You're mute again.
Dr. Sujata Tathe.
I think I'm all are not doctors.
All are doctors only.
Wow.
So, Sujata Tathed ma'am. Okay, fair enough. Let me ask her question. Then next I'll invite Dr. Vandana Singhal-ji. So Dr. Sujata Tathed, she is asking how to handle a 13-year-old who always feels his parents are wrong and as always rebellious.
And is always rebellious.
Yes,
always rebellious. Okay. First, we need to understand the family dynamic. Okay. How is the family dynamic, and how do the parents communicate with the child? That is one. Because sometimes the husband and wife relationship, and being an Asian, we have our 3 generation or 4 generation in a family, right? So you need to understand the dynamic. Secondly, for a 13 years old, it's a transition. So if you go through developmental stage, it's a stage where they go through transition, meaning after puberty, they need to check out their self-identity. They want to know who they are. They were detached from their parents. They have their own, you know, thinking and all that stuff, right? So it's a transition sometimes. Okay, the child don't even know why are they reacting, because all this emotion and the responses that's inside of them, they cannot justify it. And again, for a child, their brain are not fully developed, especially their frontal lobe, okay, for reasoning. They can't reason out like as an adult. Sometimes adult also can't reason out. Okay, so for a child, they can't really reason out because their frontal lobe is not fully developed. So how to address them is to ask them for their emotion. Okay, ask them why are they reacting that way. You know, is there anything you can share? A child will only share if they build a strong bond with the parents or with some of the family members. Okay, but if the relationship is not that good during young, the child will not share, okay, what they are going through and all that with the adults in the family. Okay, so I hope I answer your question, Doctor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Now we have Vandana Singalji. She is asking a question. So, like Dr. Sujata Tathe, she is also working as a principal. She faced many issues regarding poor mental health of parents.
Yeah.
Which affect scores of students.
Mm-hmm.
I counsel them, but how to effectively do it? This is a question from Mrs.
Okay, so are you counseling the parents or are you counseling the children? So if you are counseling the parents, right, the parents might have defense mechanism because they will ask, who are you to counsel me? It's my child. I can take care of my, I can take care of my child, and all this stuff will come out. If you are counseling the child, okay, let the child know that they can reach out to you. And when they share something to you, you need to make sure it's confidential, because when it's confidential, it's easier for them to trust you and communicate with you. All right. Another thing that you can do is create mental health awareness. Create mental health awareness in school. Create mental awareness at workplace. Educate the teachers. Educate the employee. Educate the head of department. By creating awareness, it is more acceptable. Okay, but again, when you create awareness, not 100% people will shift their mind and say, yes, I have issues in my family, I'm going to address this. No, because we come from a traditional society where we think about what other people will say, we think about what our grandparents will say, our parents will say. So there's a lot of layers. But when you create more awareness, it becomes a norm. When it becomes a norm, it's easy to address. Okay? When it's easier to address, then you see people are more willing to come out and ask for help. Okay? I hope that addressed your question.
Right. Thank you so much, Sangeeta. Now we'll take the last question. Then we have two past presidents. They want to add on something. Huh?
Okay.
So, how to deal with people who are closely associated to you, but they are having superiority complex, and they are of negative attitude.
Okay. Can you repeat that, Anita? How do?
The question is how to deal people who are closely associated to you.
Okay.
But they are having superiority complex, and they are of negative attitude.
Okay. One way that you can use is to change your approach. Okay. That means this individual, what I'm hearing is this individual is close to you and they have superior complex,
Yes.
and then they also have negative attitude, right? So it's not about that individual, because when they have all this, sometimes it's difficult for you to share what you learn, share or communicate with them. So you change your approach. When you change your approach, then you can see people around you will shift and change without you asking. Okay? So you need to take the step to shift the way you communicate with them, to shift the way the words that you use, okay? And then try to normalize it. There's a various method to it, but now we don't go deep to that, but you need to change your personal approach, especially when this person is close and they have this superior complex and they are being negative. You can't change them because everything you say is always negative, and they will put you down. So the only way is for you to move toward that growth, to change. Okay? All right.
Right. Right. Now we have already crossed our time limit. It's going to be, but I feel it's a good session. Otherwise, people's feedback will give us the right insight. For me, it is a good session. Anyway, we have with us Dr. Banmet is also going to join us again. Like he wants to give a comment, just a comment. Okay, fair. Was the Sara work ICIT 2015 invited by Professor Sam Ho? Just a comment. He just wanted to give a comment. Otherwise, we have Dr. Yogesh Kumar Upadhyay with us. He is a past president. He want to say something. Yes, Dr. Upadhyay. Gurvinder?
Hanji.
Is he?
Yeah, let me allow him.
Dr. Upadhyay.
Yeah, he can speak now.
I'm also trying to unmute. Yes, Dr. Upadhyay.
Good evening, Ms. Kaur and Ms. Anita, Gurvinder, and all. Very good evening to you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have not seen such a long webinar which is planned for 1 hour. Thank you so much. I had been to.
It was a challenge for me. It was a challenge for me from the members that please extend time, but please give us answer us all the queries. So we tried.
Thank you so much taking 100% questions. Otherwise, people close because of paucity of time. Actually, Ms. Gita, actually, I am remembering.
I can't.
Has conducted.
I can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you at all.
You can't hear?
You need to change your position.
No.
Maybe the net connection is bad.
Okay. Now?
Yes, sir, better.
Now better?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Because
better.
Mic was. Then I am saying that normally for 1 hour, we are continuing for excellent session. I have no question, but when I listen to Dr. Joshi, Professor Mukund, actually there are some people who lay mind trap. The expectation is unreasonable, and we are not able to say no to them. That was the actually I mean to say to how to identify mind trap. When we have unrealistic expectation from people, and that gives us lot of stress. That question came to my mind from the query of Doshi. You were telling emotionally weak. There is nothing weakness, but people lay mind trap and exploit. So how to recognize those mind traps and how to overcome those mind traps? Hello, Gurvinder,
Yes, sir.
are you getting me?
Yes, sir. I got your
Madam,
point.
Gurudev, can you like rephrase it for me?
Actually, he's
The
trying
line is
to
like,
ask. Yeah, he's trying to say that about the mind trap thing. That Dr. Joshi was saying that people are weak and they bully, and but he's like more of on the side of the mind trap thing. The people mind trap you, and then how to overcome that, something like that. I also missed the complete question.
okay, Anita, do you get something out of that?
Not
I'll
exactly,
type
Dr.
as he,
Yogesh Upadhyay. You are not at all audible properly. You are not audible properly, sir. You can type, you can type and send it across. In the meantime, Dr. Upadhyay, you come to the proper network, right? In the meantime, and then you just raise your hand, right? So we have finally Dr. Banwit once again. Dr. Banwit, you want to say something again? You are raising hand again and again. I think, Sangeeta, now it's time to share the link. It's a wonderful session, as I already mentioned, and Dr. Past President already mentioned this thing. So we are going to share the link in the chat box where people are supposed to click on the link, answer the questions, then we are going to issue their e-certificates, right, Gurvinder?
Yes, I add the link on the chat box so people can see now.
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
Sangeeta,
Dr. Panmit.
yeah, Sangeeta, I just wanted to mention that the ICIT held by Professor Sam Ho at Sarawak, Malaysia. I had visited Sarawak, UITM University. So I was an invited keynote speaker in the year 2015, talking on TQM in higher technical education in India. So I had a lot of time at that time. And Samo also had quite a lot of tricks and cards and puzzles which he also played during the intermittent period between every two sessions. And I saw that those exercises being done by you also. So creditable, I thought I'll just mention this, that how I enjoyed. Only thing is the special dinner at the, there was some seafood that was there. Being a vegetarian.
You're going to miss that today. You're going to miss that today because of COVID situation, right, sir? So credit goes to Corona, not to us.
No, so what I'm saying is,
right. Thank you, Dr. Panmit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So, Dr. Upadhyay, are you there? No.
Yes.
So Anita, I'm just going to show the slide.
You are not audible.
Anita?
Now I'm audible.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Joshi says.
Now can you?
You are not audible, sir. You are not audible. You are not audible. But Anita ji is can. Chalo. Sangeeta ji, so let us, there's someone again.
Okay. I'm just going to share this slide.
It's time to
just to show them, since we are wrapping up, I'm just going to show them some slides. Regarding some pictures, actually, some pictures about on mental health conference. So I would like, the rest of you to see. This is how I try to normalize the word mental health in organization. Yeah. So I just show 1-2 pictures for you to have a look.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the mental health conference that we had in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia last year in June. Okay. So as you can see, the man in the middle, he is the Minister of Health.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see me at the side. And you can see the second person, a Malay individual who assists me in getting this, because she is from the Ministry of Health. So this is one of it. Okay, then this is the participants that we have. Okay, because it runs for 3 days. So we have ministers and ministries coming from human resource, coming from Ministry of Youth. Okay, and also we have NGOs and organizations who come on board to understand more about mental health. This is where I do with the Ministry of Women, Family and Society. Okay, when we talk about gender inclusion program, we put in mental health for them to understand about the mental well-being. These are all university students. All right. Yeah. So these are some pictures that I would like to share, because I like to share things. I like to share pictures so that people understand more. Sometimes when they see, it's because we learn differently. Some are kinetic learning, some are visual. So I just would like to share this. Yeah. Okay, Anita. So the link is there.
So the link is there. People
yes.
are supposed to give answers of these questions. So
Yes.
I think Govinda, we can send this link, because now participants are also less, because we have already crossed the time. Govinda will be having the entire list with us, right? We can share the link to the email inbox also to all the attendees.
No, because those not registered, so they came randomly and joined the session. But I can put on the Facebook, and they can go and check from there. So that we can do.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Gurinder, and also
Thank you.
Dr. Joshi and Dr. Nataraj for this opportunity for me to share about mental health. And again, I always say, you need to reach out. You can be a mental health advocate, okay, to normalize the word mental health so that we reduce the stigma. When we reduce the stigma, we help and reach out to more individuals. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and all the best.
Thank you so much. We have already taken much time of yours. It's time for you. It's already good night for you.
Yeah.
I know by this time every day you go to your bed, and now today it is 11:30. You are still here with us. So thank you so very much, Sangeeta, for this wonderful session and all the insights. It was wonderfully. It's actually an enriched webinar, and the very first international webinar, which could be possible because of Dr. Joshi, Dr. Nataraj Ray, and of course the technical head, Mr. Gurvinder. So you are going to be doctor soon. You're going to be doctor soon.
Congratulations.
So Dr. Joshi, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Sangeeta, for a wonderful, absorbing, enriching experience for all of us. And I'm very sure, and we are very extremely grateful to you and thankful to you for joining us and giving us a wonderful exposure. And indeed, from the National Office of ISTD, from the side of my president, all of our national OB, NC members and all, I want to thank you and all the participants, because it was such a long Q&A session. I want to thank all the participants who made this session really a wonderful session. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining.
Thank
you
so much.
Truly an interactive session.
Yeah.
So
Thank
Ram
you.
Ram once again. Sangeeta, Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Yeah, namaste.
Great.
Thank you.
So thank
so
you all
much.
the way. Thank you very much. It is another credit for Kota chapter for successfully organizing this international webinar. I thank all the members Pan India who have joined us, members from your friends from Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, and New Jersey, United States. Thank you so very much, each and all, for joining us for this. Thank you. Good
Over and out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.